guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss about the performance tuning part 2. Okay, so actually in this lecture included in our administrator 1. Okay, so this is the last class of our about our administrations 1. Okay, and next day onwards, next class onwards, we are going to cover the administration part 2. Okay, so in DBA there is a two part. One is administrator 1 and then administrator 2. Okay, so this is the administrator 1, the last video. Okay, so next video onwards we are going to cover administrator 2. Okay, so now we are going to the session. So in these sessions we are going to learn about the like in-depth a little bit like AWR and AR sketch reports and ADDMs and all. Okay, we can go that. So here the slide about the introductions to the AWR. So you know, right, what is AWR report? Is automatic workload management, automatic workload repository. Okay, so in this AWR is collecting our stats, okay, from the SGA. So collecting the stats, and then what kind of things means like all the entire databases activity. So whatever the happening inside the databases, so it will be monitoring, it will be collecting the stats, and it will going to store our sysax table space. Okay, so that's it for the AWR. Okay, so how it's going in real time, you can see here. So this is the memory. Okay, so this is the memory. So this is SGA. So here there is, we call it as memory statistics. Okay, so whatever the happening in the memory, so all the statistics we are gathering by the M1 process. Okay, so after gathering the M1 process, going to write in our snapshot in the sysax table space for every 60 minutes. Okay, so the problem, sorry, not problem, actually the flow of these things. So all the data is going to stored in the sysax table space. Okay, so we are configuring our snapshot is 60 minutes. Okay, 1 hours. Okay, so M1 process will be take the snapshot for every 1 hours from the memory from the SGA, and it will return to our sysax table space. Okay, so how to check the AWR setting in your environment? You can just type select snap underscore interval retentions from DBA underscore ist underscore WR underscore control. Okay, so you can fire this command, you can easily get it your details. Okay, so in your environment you want to change your AWR, your AWR retention. Okay, so how you can change? You can using the below PLSQL, you can change your retentions period. Okay, and then so this is the flow. You can see here AWR snapshot timeline. Okay, so snapshots created hourly. Okay, not this is not a mandatory for the hourly, it's based on your requirement. Okay, so like if you want, you can make it 15 minutes, if you want make it 30 minutes, whatever you want. Okay, based on your environment, and used by ADDM and other advisors. ADDM analyzes snapshot to detect the issue. Okay, so now here you have one questions, right? So what is the difference between AWR and ADDM? So what is the difference? So AWR, it's collecting the stats from the SGA by using the M1 process, and it will return to our sysax table space. Okay, this is the function of AWR, right? Automatic workload repository. So here the ADDM is automatic diagnostics repository. Okay, so the ADDM, what it happened here? So whenever the snapshot is arriving in our sysax table space, so you can see here every 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Okay, so when the first snap coming to 6 a.m., that ADDM going to check the first snapshot. Okay, there is some any bottlenecks, there is some any issues in our databases, so it will detect and it will notify to us. Okay, so I hope you can run the AWR report. Okay, if you are practicing in your lab, I already teach you how to generate the AWR report. So you can practicing in your machines. Okay, so you can get it, know what I'm saying. So you can also while we are running AWR report, after that you are getting the ADDM information. So what I'm saying right now, you can get it all the things. Okay, and then This is the flow. So whenever the snapshot from the AWR, whenever the snapshot from the M1 process, the ADDM is going to read that AWR snapshot and it will providing the results. Okay. I mean, it will also gathering some reports. We call it as ADDM reports. Okay. So simply automatic database diagnostic monitor. Okay. So run after each AWR snapshot, monitoring the DB performance and detect the bottlenecks, the results stored in the AWR. Okay. So actually, guys, I'm using the lab session. I mean, this is a laptop actually. So I'm using that. So if I'm running that, any AWR is not coming to us. So in your environment, test environment, you are working as a DBA. You can run AWR in your test environment. You can get it, know or whatever I'm saying right now. Okay. So you have one doubt. So what containing, what kind of checking done by the ADDM? So ADDM checking the what is the CPU loads and any abnormal about the CPU loads or memory usage or IO usage or expensive SQL or PLSQL and Java resource usage. So and rack issues and configurations and concurrency issues. So these kind of things will be validated by the ADDM. Okay. So after that, it will be providing the recommendations and suggestions about that. Okay. And then AHH report. Okay. So active session report. So right now in your environment, you just assume that right now in your environment, last 10 minutes you have some slowness or you have some issues in your databases. Okay. So what you can do, so we are setting a snapshot for every 60 minutes, right? So we cannot do anything for that. So in that situations, you can run the ASH reports. You can validate on that. So in the last 5 minutes, actually I already teach you how to generate the ASH report in a previous video. You can go and check that video and you can try to get the report ASH reports, the same details. Actually, so I'm giving a short form what is ASH. So you know, right, in real world we are using CCTV. Okay. So same like the ASH will be monitoring our database is as a CCTV. Okay, so it will capturing everything. So whatever the happening inside the database, it will stored in our ASH reports. Okay, so I will read it that sample active sessions every seconds, show the real-time performance issues, provide the fine-grained information with the AWR shortest period, and capture only the active sessions. Make a note for that. Captures only active sessions. Okay. And then we are going to learn about the Oracle advisor framework. Okay, so here there is some advisor is there in a default Oracle. Okay, so I can show you this picture, you can easily understand. So this is our advisor. Okay, so in the ADDM there is some SQL tuning advisor and SQL access advisor and memory advisor, space advisor and backup advisor. Okay, so every advisor have some like roles. Okay, so the SQL tuning advisor, if we are facing any SQL slowness or any SQL ID having some issues, so any SQL text we need to need some recommendations, so kind of things we are running the SQL RPT report. So get it, so we get it the all the things by the SQL tuning advisor. Okay, so same like SQL access advisor, same like that. Okay, and memory advisors, so for example in our environments we maybe 200 DB databases, we know how to set the memories. So those kind of things we can get it from the advisor as the memory advisor. There is a two, one is a PG advisor and SGA advisor. So in SGA advisor, you know, right, inside the SGA some components, every components having some advisor: buffer cache advisor, shared pool advisor, Java pool advisor, and stream pool advisor. Okay, and then space. The space there is a two. One is a segment advisor and undo advisor. So segment advisor in the sense like the space kind of things. Okay, so undo, how we can set our undo return sense, those kind of advisor we can get it from the undo advisor. And then backup advisor, we call it as MDDR advisor. So MDDR advisor, example in our instance going to crash, so how we can recover easily and quickly. So those kind of information we can get it from this backup advisor. So these are all the advice framework. Okay, in our Oracle database default. Okay, so now next chapter is statistics collection level. Okay, there is a three levels. One is a basics, another one is a typical, another one is all. Okay, if you are choosing in your environment, you can go and check your in your in your database, show parameters status underscore level. You can get it know what kind of level you are using. If it is basics, it will be self-tuning capabilities disabled actually. Okay, it will only for the less minimum number of minimum informations. If you are using typical, it will be having all the self-tuning is enabled, and it will be valid details inside the, if you are using typical. So it is all that's also is fine, but the problem is it will consuming bit memory, and it consuming bit space as well. Okay, so the typical is recommended one, so you, based on that, you can use the in your environment. Okay, and then tuning advisor, sorry, instance tuning. So what is instance tuning? Instance is nothing but is a memory, right? So tuning the memory level like SGA and PGA, and optimize the IO per DB section, and then tune the OS for the database performance. So I will show you here. So inside the tuning, so we call it as the one AMM, so automatic memory management. Okay, so we set every SGA PGA, there is some memory limit is there. So memory underscore target and memory underscore max underscore target. You can see the diagram. So memory target and memory maximum target. For example, in your environment, you are setting 640 MB. Okay, so that processors will be going to maximum for the 640. Okay, so if you have any issues the more than that, you have to change it accordingly. Alter system set memory underscore target is equal to 800 MB. Okay, then your memory is going to access automatically automatically it will be enabled, and it will be going to access up to 800. Okay, so actually in your environment, if you are using AMM is Oracle recommended actually. So no need to go and change every time the memory target underscore. Okay, it will take care of that up to maximum limit. Okay, so you can see if you are enabling in your AMM. Okay, so the Oracle will be take care of that memory part. So you can, it will be managing itself. Okay, the DB auto distribute the memory between the SGA and PGA. Okay, so here SGA and PGA breakdown. These all the parameters you can see here. Memory underscore max underscore target, memory underscore target, memory underscore target spot split into that SGA underscore target, PGA underscore aggregate underscore target. Okay, and the components of including shared pool and DB buffer cache. Okay, and another one is there ASSM M. So automatic shared memory management. So focusing on, this is only for focusing on SGA. Okay, so there is two parameter. One is SGA underscore target, and one is SGA underscore max underscore size. You can see here it will only for focusing on our PGA. Sorry, SGA. Okay, and then next chapter optimize the statistics. So there is a two method is there. One is RBO and another one is a CBO. Okay, so what is RBO, what is CBO? If you are using CBO, actually before 9i, okay, before 9i they are using RBO. RBO means rule based optimizer. So what is kind of that? If example select star from employees statements, so we should update the rule to the optimizer. The based on the rule, the optimizer going to execute the statements. Okay, so now after 9i, so what we are using from 9i, we are using CBO, cost based optimizer. So cost based optimizer means CPU and IO and LOPS times. So based on that, it factor, it will going to get the data from the database. Okay, so these all the important views, guys. You can make a note for that. V dollar sys stats and V dollar system underscore events and V dollar SQL and V dollar segment underscore statistics, and then DB underscore hits and its views. Okay, so that's it to this today's sessions. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can comment me on our sessions. Okay, so our video, so I will providing this PPT in our description as well. So the next class onwards, we are going to cover administration part 2. Okay, this is the final of administrator 1. Okay, okay, thank you guys, thank you for